Hey guys, what's up? VincentADK here. Today I want to talk to you guys about my experience with WoW Ascension so far, specifically drafting mode, aka Allah. That's the server name I played on. I reached level 70 on my character in about 3 days, which is the current max level. There are other servers you can play on as well, like for example Area 52, which is the normal Ascension non-draft experience. There are other servers you can unlock by paying to get alpha access. One example would be Rexa, Conquest of Azeroth, which has 21 unique character classes based on the World of Warcraft lore. I will come back to the cash shop later on in the video. I choose Allah specifically because of the drafting option. I'm a sucker for roguelikes, as you can see from the other videos I covered here on my channel. I got the video idea from Sanmedinas WoW Ascension video. Links will be in the description. So let's start from the beginning, I would say. The installation process was fairly easy. I went to the Ascension WoW website and clicked on the Play Now button. This is where you will get an all-in launcher. I checked the exe file for viruses, and of course there were none. Better safe than sorry. I launched the exe and installed it on my desired drive. During the download time I created an Ascension WoW account and set up two-factor authentication. You also will get asked if you want to have the WOD models or the vanilla ones. I choose the WOD models. The Ascension WoW launcher looks really good. It's easy to read and there are some nice features built in. For example, it shows the current news, has a bug tracker, a wiki link and even a little add-on mod section, which I used for an easy installation of a quest helper add-on and a rare spawn add-on as well. After that I changed some in-game settings which worked without a problem and created my first character. When I first logged into the server with my newly created character, I was greeted by 3 spell cards which I had to click on to reveal them. Those were randomly picked spells from a low level bracket. I had to do this 4 times. After that an animated chat box popped up which told me that those were the only cards I will get until I reach level 10 and after that every 2 levels. I noticed that there were a lot of items in my bag. You start with a one-handed sword, a dagger, a shield, a gun and a staff. From the beginning you have a two-handed sword and a bow equipped. You can of course change that to your liking. There is also a hearthstone and an item that looks like a deck. This item will let you change your 4 starting spells. Basically it lets you draft your beginning spells again. So if you got spells you don't want or like, you can give it another go until you have the 4 spells you want. You will be able to do this until level 10. After level 10 you will need to get specific cards which will let you draft other cards, but you have to unlearn 1 card in its place. Those cards are called Hands of Fate. After that I accepted the first custom quest from this server. This is basically a tutorial quest line which should help you out a bit. I choose my main attribute. In that case I wanted to be a caster, so intellect it was. There were these 2 floating books I noticed. One of these books let you learn higher ranks of your spells for free until you reach level 15 and the other one would let you learn your professions, also free of charge. I noticed that there were even more custom NPCs. 2 of them would let you learn healer and tank spell. This comes in handy if you want to play as those 2 roles. There was also a challenge mode NPC, which lets you choose different kinds of challenge modes like Iron Man, Survivalist, Nightmare, Resolute and even drafting mode. You have to go to this NPC before you earned a single experience point, so bear that in mind if you want to try those modes out for yourself. I went on my merry way and did some quests and grinded some mobs. These mobs gave a ton of experience points and dropped some nice green loot. I noticed that these mobs level up with you to a certain point. You can see the level range on the world map. I went into the character advancement menu and noticed that there was a Hero Architect tab. This will load a database with tons of community created builds you can try out for yourself. When I did the spare parts and inoculation quests in the Draenei starting area, I noticed that there was an issue with phasing. I'm not sure if it's the correct term, but when I went to a certain spot, suddenly there were more mobs, and when I tried to kill those mobs and went near them, they would vanish. I never noticed this issue elsewhere though. After I hit level 10, I noticed that my talent point was automatically spent. I did not like that. It can destroy your build when you have spells you don't want to use. I unchecked the box in the character advancement menu, and that was that. I also got a quest to join a battleground, and that's exactly what I did. It was a really long, snowy Warsong Gulch match. I got destroyed a lot of the time since I had no idea what I'm doing. There were also systems in place which I didn't know of, but I will tell you all about that later on. I still enjoyed my time. I love doing battlegrounds in general, so that's a plus. I got 10 levels from that one battleground and a little bag with some nice equipment. You can even choose which main attribute you want to have on your items. By the way, there's also a South Shore versus Terrence Mill battleground. I didn't like it that much since it's annoying without having a mount. It's really huge. After putting my talent points in, I accepted a quest for doing a dungeon, and that is what I exactly did. You can just click on a dungeon you want to join and it will automatically put you in a group with other people. Same for the battlegrounds. Both will be cross-faction as well. The dungeon I chose was Ragefire Chasm. The group was more than well equipped. It kinda was like a joke. Not that that is a bad thing, but we cut through that dungeon really quick. Tons of AoEs and damage in general. When we reached their demon boss and killed it, we got the dungeon complete prompt. That is something I noticed in general. The completion point for early dungeons seems to be a bit off. You still can go through the dungeon and kill the other bosses, but it's still a little bit weird. Most people will leave the dungeon then anyway. I got some Hand of Fate cards from Silas Darkmoon and a goodie bag for completing the dungeon. Silas Darkmoon is that one NPC talking to you via those animated chat boxes, like the one in the beginning of your journey. These Hand of Fate cards are awesome. You can use them to get new spells and unlearn spells you may not want. Comes really in handy if you got bad luck or didn't know what you were doing like me. After that endeavor, I equipped my newly acquired gear and did some gathering. You will get experience and even multiple points for your professions. That's really awesome, so you can level up your professions really quick and make some gold. Gold is really important in general on the server. I followed the tutorial quest and landed in Stormwind, where a lot of players were standing. The /who feature didn't work for me. I don't know if it's bugged or just on my end, but there were a lot of people nonetheless. Then I learned about PvP hybrid rule set. You basically can choose if you just want to PvE in peace or PvP with low or even high risk of losing your equipment and items in your bags. At the highest risk, you can even loot dungeon gear from outdoor mobs. Every zone has a different risk tier. Just check the map, it will tell you which tier it is on. For starters, I choose the PvE option. My other characters have high risk mode enabled. It's more fun, but I wouldn't recommend it to someone who is new to the server. After a while, I learned about the Fell Commutation Portal, which will allow you to protect equipped items for a fee. So if you do high risk PvP and die, item won't get taken away from you. I did some more dungeons and battlegrounds, got a mount, the riding skill, and reached level 60. This opened up the game even further. I was being overwhelmed with a lot of custom quests and even more mechanics features which weren't introduced to me before. One of the things I learned about was the Ethereal Bazaar and its currency, which you can get from the auction house. You can buy cosmetic items from them, transmog in short. I noticed that there was this Enchantress NPC which will let you remove your mystic enchantments from your gear. You have a chance of getting gear with effects. Those effects are called mystic enchantments. You can remove those enchantments from rare gear and upwards. You will need a mystic extract currency for that. You will earn these from reforging your equipment. Well, you get them from leveling up your reforging level. Reforging will give you another random mystic enchant on your selected gear piece. That is also one of the systems I was mentioning before, which weren't really explained good enough in my opinion. It's super important, even from the start of your journey. It's like the Legion artifact weapon effects, which will change certain spells entirely and can give you synergies and massive power boosts. I had to watch a guide on how it works and where to find that menu in the first place. You will need to find a mystic enchanting altar. It says they would be shown on the map, but it didn't for me. You basically have to be lucky that another player bought the vanity item and placed it down in the first place. But thankfully, this happens all the time, but still something to bear in mind. It's the same for the books. If you want to level up your spells, you need to find another player. I still don't know if those things are somewhere hidden in a major city. I will come back to this later on. I leveled some more and hit level 70 in Outland. After that I did some more custom quests. I went back to Silas and turned in a lot of Ascension marks and got some more Hand of Fate cards, so I could streamline my build a little bit more. By doing so you will get some lucky cards as well. These lucky cards can help a newly created character getting certain spells you desire. You can only activate these cards from level 1 to 9. There are also these golden cards. You can use these even at higher levels. These cost a lot of gold though. Speaking of gold, I made some gold and got my epic mount and riding skill. And that's pretty much it so far. I really enjoyed my time so far, even though there were these massive information dumps and floods of custom quests, which made me log out at first. But after a break I came back and played some more. I don't know if you really can make it easier. Just what I would like to see happening is that you are being thought about the mystic enchants sooner and more in depth. Maybe have a library in major cities where people can read up on all the mechanic. I personally believe this should be handled in-game and not in a wiki or a YouTube video. I tried the wiki, maybe it's on me, but I didn't find anything about it. I had to watch a guide on YouTube. There were quest tags of course, but that wasn't enough for me. Other than that, I had sometimes issues seeing the score in Battlegrounds, mostly when I joined into one that was already going on. Sometimes it happened after being in one for a while. I can't tell if that's on my part, I wouldn't know why though. But let's talk a little bit about the cash shop. I personally don't have anything against the cash shop, but you should know what you are getting into. It also depends on the server you are playing on. I choose Allah, since I'm playing there. I will let you know some things you can buy, and then I will tell you how much the currency costs. You flat out can buy normal and even epic flying, max level boosts, mounts, teleports to certain areas, XP buffs, cosmetics, skins for your bear form or other forms, mount speed buffs, the floating books, the enchant altar, war chests with bags, currency, buffs and that kind of stuff, and even access to alphas. For example, Conquest of Azeroth. There's much more. Some of these items are bound to your server. I don't think it's completely the account, maybe the account, I'm not sure, sorry guys. And some of them just to one of your characters. They will let you know of course. Some of these buffs are also zone wide, so you can buy yourself a buff and help others out as well. Some of these mounts look really awesome, but the cosmetics and these mounts could really bite if you have the classic models. Looks better on bot models. Well then, let's talk about money. Let's take the Alpha Access Essence example. It costs 100 Ascension bucks. This will translate to $35 US. Let's do another one. The max level boost. This will cost you $20 US. You will need to buy 2 packs of coins for this one though. Or you pay $25 instead and have some spare coins to spend later on. I'm not really a fan of that, since you basically have to spend over or you have to go in multiple times. I understand the need and the want of making money. Can't really blame these guys for that. I think it's an awesome project and it deserves some money. I just hope it doesn't destroy the flow of the game or is being developed in such a way to make you spend money. Well, besides those books and the altar. But you can correct me on this. I will put this in a pinned comment if I was wrong here. But like I said before, I enjoyed my time so far. There are some issues I mentioned. The balance can be a hit or miss, but that's also the same for retail WoW. I really dig the drafting mode, even though I suck at it. I wished you don't have to buy these books and alter thing to actually use them. I will leave the links to WoW Ascension in the description. I usually do first impressions of indie games. Maybe it's something you enjoy as well. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Have a nice day and take care, guys. Bye bye. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, guys. Stay safe out there. Vincent out. Bye bye.